All right. So we're starting, I guess. So, hi, welcome everybody. My name is Cynthia Palacios. I'm the teen librarian at the Exposition Park Library, where I actually grew up. I'm excited for this program and thank you all for attending. ASL interpretation is available, and if you're interested in live captioning, which of course we all love, please see the link in the comments. I'd like to introduce to you our host and our guest. Aislinn is our host and is an 11th grade Latina with family roots from Mexico and likes volunteering at her local library. Keah Brown is a journalist, author, activist, and screenwriter. She is the creator of hashtag Disabled and Cute. Keah has a BA in journalism from the State University of New York at Fredonia. She has worked with Netflix Q, Teen Vogue, Elle, Harper's Bazaar, Marie Claire, UK, and the New York Times, among other publications. Her debut essays, The Pretty One, is out now and available on audio version via Libby. Her debut picture book, Sam Super Seats, will be out in fall 2022 via Cochlea Books. And here is Aislinn to help us start the questions.
When did you first know that you wanted to be a journalist?
Good question. So I'm a naturally nosy person, and just I love being in people's business, and I like trying to figure out what made people who they are and why. And so I knew that journalism could be my way into learning more about people and how we all fit in the world. So I knew very early on. I think I would say in high school, my junior year, I knew that I wanted to be a journalist for sure. I was like, yeah, I think this is it. I want to be in a newsroom doing hard news. And then I graduated high school and got into college. And I was like, actually, I like talking about pop culture. So I switched gears a little bit, but I knew around high school toward the end of it that I wanted to be a journalist for sure.
Thank you. Speaking up and speaking out are not easy. When did you first participate in disability activism? Was there an accident or a moment that motivated your decision, or has it always been a part of who you are?
I think that for a very long time, I would say a good chunk of time before the year 2015, I never talked about disability. I never wanted to talk about disability. I thought it was like this thing that I had to tuck away or keep hidden because I was embarrassed of being disabled. But it wasn't until I started being online more, being on social media like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, that I realized that people actually cared what I had to say. And a lot of what I had to say were things about disability and how it actually is important that we see disabled people in popular culture. And it also is important that we let other people know that disabled people are people first. And we're not just people you need to pity. So it really started from anger like some things do. I think that it was definitely not something that I went out in search of. I just sort of started talking and then I didn't stop, which is very much my jam. I do that all the time. But I was just surprised that people cared enough to listen, and that's really how the activism started, was me realizing that I had something worth saying and that people wanted to hear what I had to say.
Can you tell us a little bit about your book, The Pretty One, and read a selection from your book?
Yeah. Okay, so my book, The Pretty One, is sorry, there's like a piece of hair always in these glasses. Um, my book, The Pretty One, is a collection of essays where I talk about my love for pop culture and cheesecake and the importance of representation and what it means to go from hating myself to loving myself. And the piece that I'm going to read part of for you today is one of the first essays in the book, and it's called I forget the name of it, but it is about my love for chairs. And so this is it. And I'm reading from my phone because I can't see out of these glasses. So, my longest relationship has been with chairs. We are very happy together, committed and strong, in sickness and health, till death do us part. There are arguments and disagreements as in any other relationship, but we apologize and make up before nightfall so we don't go to bed angry. The notion of love at first sight is a little cheesy, but true. Chairs and I have traveled the world and back again. We cuddled on the beach in Puerto Rico, shared stolen glances in the Virgin Islands. We danced the night away in Grand Turk and gave some major PDA in the Bahamas. My chairs are loyal, with vastly different personalities, but an equal amount of appreciation for the bud of mine that sits in them. A few of them like to play it cool. They don't want to think that they care as much as they do, but I let them believe that that charade is working. After all, sometimes you have to let your partner think they have the upper hand, so that you can work toward the long game of the bigger thing you want later. However, you and I, we both know the truth. The chairs in my life, they love me. And honestly, I can't blame them. My favorite place to canoodle with my boo is at the mall. I love shopping. It brings me the kind of joy that I imagine having a child brings a mother. Shopping is euphoric for me. It is my personal treat after long days. When shopping, I feel like anything is possible, like the world is at my fingertips, waiting for me to step out into new outfits and live my best life. Several times, I have bought a few items I've forgotten to wear and have found months later, with the tags still on. In these clothes, I feel like I am debuting the best versions of myself to the world. I like to wear them when I know enough people will see me. Because if enough people don't see you in your cute outfit, did you even wear one at all? In these moments, I enjoy the audience that I often receive just for existing. In new clothes, I don't care who stares. Strangers are often looking for a show from me, so why not give them one? If I'm going to stand out, I have to at least look cute doing it. These new clothes are great for a variety of reasons, as well as the options of pairing them with my beloved older pieces already in my wardrobe. When I am at the mall, I often ask myself, what can I buy that I certainly don't need? Ice cream, a cookie, a pretzel, maybe all three. And how many items of clothing can I wear, can I buy without trying them on? My record so far is 4 full items and 1 pair of shoes. And then I go on to talk about the importance of what you buy at the mall. So I'm just going to skip ahead. And then I talk about this. When I give into my body's protests after long walks and my legs start to ache, I find refuge on the bench outside of my favorite stores, despite how uncomfortable they actually are. I try not to spend too much time on them, but desperate times call for desperate measures, and my aching bones don't care about my strained relationships. I liken these boundaries to the kids to the I liken this behavior to the boundaries that kids often try to set, trying to convince everyone that they don't care about anything or anyone. I care about my comfort. If you don't need to rest with the help of chairs the way that I do, you're lucky. Not in the sense that those who do are unlucky, but because the ability to navigate the world without giving a second thought to the accommodations anyone needs must be very nice. I know how exhausting life can be, but maybe someday you'll get tired too, and we'll sit next to each other in the comfort and soft chairs that we deserve. Thank you. Now, that essay is actually called Can We Sit for a Sec? I wanted to make sure that I said that because I forgot very quickly. But yeah, that's the essay about chairs and how it's important that we allow rest to be a part of our everyday life because living in a rise and grind culture is very exhausting and harmful. Take a break. You deserve it.
Thank you, that was amazing. Okay, if you can turn back time, what is one thing you wish you would tell your younger self?
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, the one thing I wish that I could tell my younger self is to breathe a little, that everything is going to work out fine. And even though everything feels like do or die, everything feels intense, and I spent a lot of my younger years very insecure and uncertain, that everything is going to work out and you'll find your people who make you feel like your best self, and you'll find the thing that makes you feel like you can fly, and all of the rest of it won't matter in the way that you think it will when you're 16, 17. The same things, they don't matter when you're like 24, 25. Like, everything will find a way to work out, and it's not like life is going to be perfect, but that sometimes it's easy to get overwhelmed with the weight and the pressure that comes with being a teenager in particular. So I always say, if I could go back to my younger self, it would be to breathe a little. You're going to be okay. I know it's hard, but it's not impossible.
That is so true. Thank you. Based on your experience, what are some ways our audience can advocate for themselves?
Ooh, I think just remembering that you have a story to tell, and whatever that story is, someone needs to hear it. I often find that when people reach out to me and they're like, I want to say this thing about X thing, or I really care about this organization or this issue that I'm having, in my university or in high school, I think it's really important to remember that no one can tell the story that you want to tell the way that you will tell it, and there's somebody waiting for you to use your voice. And even though it's so scary, and even I sometimes still get scared of sharing certain things or certain stories, that there's power in my voice. And so instead of waiting for somebody else to say the thing you want them to, you should say it. And remember that social media is great for that. I found my audience on social media, and I found people who wanted to hear what I had to say, and I found people who I wanted to hear speak about a myriad of things, which is just a ton of things, like even the fun stuff, music, food. Again, I love food, pop culture, all that stuff. I think that it's really important that even the smallest thing, like, hey, I was thinking about this today. What do you think? That small moment of reaching out to somebody else can really change not only their lives and your life, but the lives of others. Because if you start small, you can just keep building from there.
Thank you. When you're not writing, what do you enjoy doing during your free time? Do you have any hobbies? What are some tips you can offer to distress?
Yeah. Oh, I have a lot of non-writing hobbies. I watch a lot of movies and TV shows. When I'm not writing, I'm usually in acting class, which I really, really love. So if you can do that, that would be cool. I suggest that. I do it every Saturday. It's really fun. I think in order to de-stress, a lot of times I put my phone away, and like I close out all work and social media, and I just curl up with a movie that I find comforting, or a TV show on Netflix from my like TV, because I think when I have something that I know how it starts and what the middle is and how it ends, I can sort of just tune it out but also enjoy it. And I just try to remind myself that no one should have to work all the time or be on all the time, or um, be everything to everyone if they're not going to be anything to themselves, which just means that like I have to take care of myself, because I can't do the work I want to do and be the person I want to be without taking care of myself. So the best way that I know how to do that is to completely put my phone down, avoid social media, and just watch TV shows and movies, and really escape to other people's worlds for a couple of hours.
That was amazing advice. What do you hope our younger readers will take away from this book?
I hope that younger readers in particular will take away from this book that we're all just still figuring it out and nobody has the right answer. Everybody is just trying to make their way in life, but also just that the pressures we put on ourselves as young people also isn't necessary. Like I know that everything feels so intense as a young person. I still feel that way now in many respects. I think that what I hope readers take from this, specifically young readers, is that if I can start my own journey towards self love and self acceptance, then so can you. And really, all it takes is effort, is saying the four things that you like about yourself in the mirror, and really trying to counteract the idea that our media sometimes perpetuates and says like, oh, we shouldn't love ourselves if we don't look this way, if we're not blonde hair, blue eyed, super thin, often white, like we're not valuable. But the truth is there's so much beauty in all of us. And I think that what I hope young readers understand is that by reading this book, they take little pieces of themselves to fall in love with and find reasons why they can say four things to themselves in the mirror so that they can also have that experience of really feeling comfortable in their skin. Because I really wish that I would have started when I was younger. Like, I wish I would have had the ability to start, or even the mindset to start when I was younger, because it would have saved a lot of time.
Yeah, it's really true what you say. It's it was basically the same for me. So I really do um agree with what you said just now.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Really,
Yes.
it's hard to when you have that coming at you constantly, like about the way you should look, what you should dress, how you should dance, especially like how you should use social media, and you have pressures from like movies and TV shows, and sometimes your friends. I think that it's very easy to get lost in that, and so I really hope that people take from this book that all it takes is like saying four things to yourself in the mirror, and all it takes is trying every day.
Yes. Are you scared when you ask for help?
Yeah, definitely. Asking for help is scary, but I find that every single time that I've done it, I felt better afterwards. Like, I really, every time that I ask for help, I feel like I'm letting someone in and I'm allowing them to get to know me better, and I'm allowing myself to take rest and take that break that I think is so important. So yeah, I mean, I do definitely still get scared to ask for help, but I find that every time that I do, I feel better afterward.
Thank you.
Mhm.
How do you deal with stigma and socially constructed stereotypes?
Ooh, I mean, it's hard. I think that it really just takes remembering who I am as a person and that I have people who love me, whether that's my family or my friends, and whether they live near me or they are or we met online. I think that it's just having a group of people who make me feel like I am valuable and that I am a person that they want to be around. That really helps with the general stigma of disability and sort of just being a person of color in the world. It helps to have people just like you for you and remind you that you're valuable.
Um, what work have you done with Netflix?
Oh, yes. So, what I did was for the ADA 30th anniversary, and the ADA is the Americans with Disabilities Act. They had a 30th anniversary, and Netflix has a publication called Netflix Q, and they reached out to me to write about another disability trailblazer, Judy Human. And essentially, what I did was interview her to see where she thought the disability movement was going from where she saw it when they first created the Americans with Disabilities Act. It was really cool.
This is really interesting. Thank you.
Mhm.
Um, how how do I introduce my sister with a disability to my friends? I don't want them to ask me questions about her, nor treat her differently. Nor like
I think that it's hard because people are going to have questions. I know that it's sort of stressful and sort of anxiety inducing. But what I would say to you is that the best thing you can do is say, "Hi, this is my sister, so and so." Share some things about her, and then just say she also is disabled, or say what specific disability she has, and then say, "I'm not answering any other questions," which I know feels weird, but I think if you don't want to answer any more questions, you don't have to, and you can realize that that boundary, that space you put up, that what's the word I'm looking for? That hard saying no is okay too. So if you say, "Hi, I want to introduce you to my sister," um, I have a sister named Leah. So, "Hi, I want to introduce you to my sister named Leah, and she likes X, Y, and Z thing, like she likes popcorn and journals and TikTok, and she also is a person who has cerebral palsy like I do or something." And then that's it. Like if you don't want to answer any questions, you don't have to. You don't owe people explanations about your family or explanations about yourself in any way. You can just say no. That's it. That's all you're getting.
Awesome. I'm gonna jump in real quick.
Okay.
But wow, Keah, I'm like so relevant, even though I'm not a teenager.
Listen,
Yeah.
same. Me either,
Um,
but
but I love what you did say about like how as a teenager you feel like you have this appearance to keep up with of having it together. And I know like in college it's the same thing, and then as an adult it's the same thing. So it really comes up to nobody knows what they're doing. Everybody's
right.
figuring it out, and it's like we're all hot mess.
Yes,
We're
yes,
just trying to look like we're not.
exactly.
But I'm gonna open it up to our audience. Please feel free to ask some questions in the chat. I'm gonna be monitoring the chat, so ask away. And I believe we actually do have one question. Let me see, from Amanda, and she's asking, you mentioned that you enjoy taking acting classes. No pressure, but are you planning to branch out into professional acting? Great question, Amanda.
Yeah,
Do
Amanda,
tell.
fantastic question. Yes, yes, that is the plan. I started taking the classes to help my writing really, and then I fell in love with it like immediately. I was obsessed. I would talk to my family about it constantly. I'm like, "Guys, I have acting classes, and this exciting," and they're like, "Yeah, sure, Keah." So yeah, that's the dream. I really want to. I'm very comfortable in front of a camera. I hope to. I think that would be really awesome. So fingers crossed.
Okay. I don't see any. Oh, hold on. Can you tell us more about, Lauren asked, can you tell us more about your hashtag disabled and cute campaign? How did you get it started?
Yes, Lauren. Again, fantastic question. I started the hashtag in 2017 on Twitter, of all places. I was very excited because I finally felt good in my body. I finally felt like proud of myself, and I was like, "Oh, I'm cute. Okay, cool." And so what I did was I posted 4 pictures of myself, and then I hashtagged disabled and cute, particularly because I was like, you can be both things. There's not a either or situation. You were both at the same time. But I didn't expect it to go viral or anything. I literally did it in the hopes of just celebrating myself. And other people jumped on the bandwagon and they were like, "I want to use this too." And so it did end up going viral. But it literally just started from me trying to celebrate that I finally liked myself.
Nice. It's definitely an issue that teens and just honestly, it's not just it's everybody
Yep.
learning to, like yourself, even when like, especially in COVID, like being sometimes by yourself, having all this extra time, like, okay, how do I like myself? Am I okay being for long periods of time on my own rather than alone? But
Right.
Eileen, I'm gonna have you ask a couple more questions because while I monitor chat again, if you have any questions, please throw them into the chat.
Yeah, please. I can't wait to hear them.
Okay. How do I approach dating online? And sorry, How do I approach dating/dating online?
I'm sorry, could you repeat it?
Yes. How do I approach dating/online dating?
Ooh, I don't know if I can answer this that well. I don't have much experience dating or online dating, but I will say that from the brief moment in time that I did have um, some dating profiles, I guess I would just be as honest as possible and remember that being who you are at all times, no matter where you are, is often more rewarding than lying and then having to keep up that lie and then having to come up with other backstories to support that lie. It's a lot of extra work to pretend to be somebody else. And so if you approach online dating or dating in general, being upfront about who you are and the things that matter to you, somebody somewhere is gonna be out there and love that. I'm saying that for you and for me. I I think that there's somebody out there for all of us.
For all of us,
Yes,
including myself.
yes, right. Me, please. Somebody out there. Yeah.
I love your advice. Okay, so what are you planning to write next? What's your current/next project?
Ooh, I have, well, Sam Supersedes that comes out. I think it might have moved to the summer of 2022, so that's coming out next, project wise. And then I'm also working on a movie, writing my first movie, and then I'm also writing my first fiction book. So I'm just like, um, and then I'm also maybe working on a musical, maybe? I don't know yet. I haven't really figured it out. But so I'm doing a lot of things at once, really, and trying to see what sticks. A lot of just telling um, fictional stories and trying to put as many things into the world as possible. I'm also still doing the acting classes, which I hope leads to something. But yeah, I'm working on quite a few things where I just want to tell stories.
It sounds very interesting, and I'm looking up for your work. Okay,
Thank you.
I really did enjoy your book. What advice would you give our audience members who want to follow in your footsteps as journalists and as activists?
I would say be yourself and tell your story and remember that literally the smallest thing can get you into the activist space. Remember that there are people already doing the work of activism and so you can learn from them. And as long as you're passionate about something and it doesn't harm other people, I say go for it. There are people in whatever corner of the internet you want to find yourself who love the weird thing that you love. And a lot of activism is really just about finding people who care as much as you do.
That is a great way to pretty much end our wrap up our questions. I don't see any more chat questions, but you have answered so much. Thank you. I'm
I'm honestly so excited to be here and I really appreciate you all having me. Like you were fantastic with the questioning. Thank you so much. This was
good job,
fun and
Aislinn.
I really I hope that you all take something from it and that you I'm so glad you enjoyed the book. And yeah, I'm around on the internet. So if you have any more questions.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna be putting her website on the chat. So please look on the chat. And we've pretty much reached the end of our time. Thank you so much, Keah. You were awesome. Thank you, Aislinn, for hosting. Great job. And thank you to the Library Foundation for making this happen, and to those in the audience for coming and for writing any questions in. Please also join us for our upcoming program celebrating the new Lunar New Year with Starry Kitchen. Starry
Ooh.
Kitchen. Goodness. And the link will be in the chat as well. So thank you so much, Keah.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.